You had plans with someone you're close to. Nothing big. Just going out to a party. The day comes and you cancel. You send a quick message. They reply, "No worries." But something feels different. Shorter. Flatter. Less warm. Later that night, you think about it. You replay the moment. Not because cancelling mattered that much, but because the energy changed. The next time you talk to them, they don't feel the same. Less open. Less easy. They don't bring it up. You don't either. But you can feel the space between you, and it stays there. So you talk to someone about it. A friend, a family member, someone who listens. You explain how you feel. They nod. They agree. They tell you. Sometimes people just don't feel like going out. It doesn't mean anything. That's just how people are. And you get that. You actually agree. You know people need space. You know moods change. You know cancelling plans doesn't mean you care less. It happens. You're human. But even after that talk, you still reach out. You explain yourself. You apologise. Not because the party mattered, but because the connection did. The jokes. The closeness. The way things felt before things changed. That's the attachment. You weren't fixing the plans. You were trying to get back to how it felt before things changed. That's not fake. That's real. Just not the deepest truth. Here's where people get confused. They think they're being honest. And they are, but only about the part that makes things feel normal again. You didn't explain because cancelling needed it. You explained because the energy changed. Because the jokes stopped. Because the replies got shorter. Because the conversation felt colder. Because the silence started to feel heavy. That's honesty trying to smooth things over. Trying to make the moment feel okay again. Trying to bring things back to how they were. Not honesty because it needed to be said, but honesty because the silence felt bad. And that's why it's still attachment. This doesn't just happen with friends. It happens at work. You explain yourself more than you need to. You send extra messages just to make sure nothing feels weird. It happens in families. You say sorry just to keep things calm. You avoid silence because it feels uncomfortable. It happens with money. You justify what you spend. You explain why you bought it. You want someone else to feel okay about your choice. Different situations. Same pattern. Honesty used to keep things comfortable, not honesty that can stand alone. After that, you notice something. You're not acting the same anymore. You pause before you send things. You pick your words carefully. You hold back a little. Not because you changed, but because now you're watching how the other person feels. And that changes how you talk. How open you are. How easy the connection feels. People feel it when someone is trying to get something back, even if nothing is said. Now here's what real honesty looks like in the same situation. You cancel the plans. The tone shifts. You notice it. And you don't rush to fix it. You don't explain again. You don't apologize twice. Not because you don't care, but because you're clear. You cancelled because that's what you needed that day. And you let that be enough. If they bring it up later, you don't argue. You don't defend yourself. You don't try to sound better. You just say what's true. Once. If it feels awkward, you feel it, but you don't chase it. You don't apologize for space. You don't change who you are just to be liked. You let things be what they are. That's the difference. One kind of honesty tries to fix the feeling. The other lets the truth stand even if the feeling stays weird. One needs relief. The other doesn't need anything back. That's why this matters. When honesty is used to calm yourself, your peace depends on someone else. But when honesty can stand on its own, your peace stays yours. Honesty isn't power. Being quiet isn't either. Power is when you can tell the truth and not need anything back. When their response doesn't change how you act. When you're okay either way. That's when your words are clean. And that's when you stop being attached. The counterweight.